I promised it was quick. It definitely was quick. Both our teams are already set up and trying to get in the game. So let's not hold them any longer. Now, a coin has 3 sides. A coin has 2 sides. So we will be choosing who gets to their choice of first pick or second pick, of course, denoted by heads or tails. Now, Deuce next. Who gets either side of the coin? We have Tacenda and we have Nemesis. Where do they end up?
Tacenda heads,
Okay.
Nemesis tails.
All right, coin is being flipped. It is tails, meaning that Nemesis gets their choice.
Nemesis going to be able to make that selection. I wouldn't be surprised if they go for first ban, first pick. Again, because they have so many characters that are going to fall to the end of the draft that they'd much rather have the strongest pick out of the gate.
Oh, definitely. Okay. Oh man, poor Tacenda. All right, we'll throw it to the draft screen right here, and I'll show you why. Nemesis have already locked in their first ban, and you guessed it, it's Gengar.
Okay, so there's definitely a strategy kicking around here. Nemesis is definitely feeling where they're going. So, is that how you've been doing it? You've been putting the ban in front of the other team?
Nope, I haven't. Good call. Okay. There you go. Thank you.
I mean, in this case, it is very specific to Tacenda that Gengar's getting banned. And we've seen that twice now in a very short tournament. So, Nemesis understands and exactly what's going on, but what that means is each team is going to have the opportunity to choose one of those broken Pokemon.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, 3 broken Pokemon on the table. Tacenda get the chance to remove one of them from the pool right now. They're debating on their ban. I see them typing, so we'll get it in just a moment. If it's me, though, that's an easy Mew ban. I mean, Oblivion played a lights-out game on that Mew, but I still do not want to give that over to Toon. Yeah, Chat's just saying ban Bora. I mean, kind of. We're actually seeing a Serena ban coming out of Tacenda.
Good night. Okay, so Nemesis, and that's actually a reasonable strategy by Tacenda, saying, Nemesis, you pick whichever one of the Triforce you want.
Yeah.
We'll get the other 2. So kind of, getting more power that way, which is not an unreasonable strategy by any means.
You predicted it perfectly. Mew goes over to Nemesis, but they get Glaceon and Mr. Mime on the side of Tacenda.
I mean, we're playing with haymakers today. And of course, what the great advantage that Nemesis again has in this type of format is being able to lean on Pokemon that don't naturally find their way into other compositions. Nemesis coming through with the Aegislash, and I love the speed at which we're moving through here. And again,
it is quick. I'm trying to catch up here.
And taking Snorlax there for Rex. I mean, Nemesis probably fairly convinced that Greedent and Hoopa are going to make it back to them, and they're just going to be able to round out the squad like they were like they would build it if they were 5 stacking.
Yeah, it really is. This arena, so we've obviously seen the Gengar call out in a few games now. First we had game number 1, Tacenda was going to get banned away from them, and now Nemesis is doing it in this finale game for the evening. So it's happening again, but Tacenda doing a little bit of the same, and Radiance did it as well. This arena pick from Fui is definitely a nightmare for other people to deal with. Now, that confidence is a little shaky. Tacenda has stolen away the Greedent pick.
I don't hate this, right? You've got the 2 strongest characters in the game. You can cut off Nemesis and how strong Artreus Greedent actually is. So that makes total sense to me. Like, even if it's your least skilled Pokemon you're bringing to the table, you've kind of balanced that out with 2 of the strongest Pokemon in the game on raw power level.
Yeah, Charizard being thrown into the mix for Tacenda as well. A very, very strong top path contender right now, especially in combination with Glaceon. Nemesis not getting access to that could be interesting. And I mean, now it's going to be, what does Artryu want to play on the side of Nemesis?
Yeah, great question. Nemesis going to have the opportunity to get JL kind of on their comfort pick in the Hoopa, and that can obviously impact the map in a big way. So Don't be surprised if Hoopa comes out, but Artriu really remains the biggest mystery to me because I haven't seen them in the competitive scene play many other Pokemon besides this Greedent.
Yeah, I mean, I know they are a phenomenal player. I've definitely seen them on some other picks, but the Greedent is definitely one that is the most eye-catching for sure. Now, I see some people in
Hmm.
chat saying the T-Tar. That is a very, very interesting pick. I like that idea a lot, actually. Tyranitar and we were talking about how Snorlax has some great late game potential, blocking scores, things of that nature. Tyranitar's passive just pushes right through those shields you get. So another great option.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, it's not particularly strong in against Mr. Mime, like in the face of Mr. Mime. But if you have the Hoopa with the T-Tar, you can make sure that your T-Tar is operating on the opposite side of the map as the Mr. Mime in as many opportunities as possible, and try and hedge at least a little bit in that way and get some value by doing that.
T-Tar versus Charizard would definitely be an interesting matchup between the two.
Mhm.
I would be really curious to see how that one plays out game to game, but we're not going to get any of those options, chat. I'm so sorry. Instead, we have an Azumarill pick
Okay.
coming out of Nemesis, followed up by, of course, the Hoopa.
Yeah, so Azumarill has a lot of similar qualities to the Greedent, so that makes a lot of sense. Our trio is incredibly skilled, and they're going to be able to leverage that, of course, better than almost anyone else in the world. So excited to see that, and also excited to just see a new Pokemon that we haven't gotten to watch too much of yet.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always down for that, you know? So we will yeah, we will see what the final pick is now for Tacenda. They have built themselves up a pretty nice roster of Pokemon so far. I like the way they've been building. They grabbed that Glaceon Mr. Mime with a great draft strategy. I really like this idea of like punting the draft, if you will. If we were on camera, you would see me throwing up the quotation finger marks, but making sure the broken Pokemon are still in play so that you know you get the lion's share of them. So a really great play coming out of Tacenda already in the draft screen.
Yeah, Tacenda has both of their preferred defender options here, or excuse me, tanky Pokemon options in Mamoswine and Wigglytuff. If they want to go back to that, well, I don't see either of those being particularly bad choices, and having kind of a strict tank might work out. But they're going with straight firepower. We're going with the Fox, baby. Del Fox making his way onto Tacenda's last spot.
Yeah, I love it. I'm just going to see. I can. But yeah, I mean, Oblivion really showcased why they are such an impressive player on the on. Oh, actually, here we go.
Yeah, they played Mew incredibly well. They played Delphox particularly well in both the games we've seen Tacenda so far. So, I mean, if you're really looking for Oblivion to really deal those high thresholds of damage, put them on one of the characters that you know they can move and groove with, and Delphox certainly seems to fit that mold.
Yeah, I mean, oh, this is going to be an interesting play, right? Because Delphox is going to have to be in combination with the Glaceon in terms of damage. I'm looking at that 5-minute mark when rotations are really, really common around the map. We see teams constantly cruising to either side, back and forth. Nemesis is going to have their chance to, intercept those, pick them off, and find those squishy Pokemon. But Tacenda's been playing a lights out game in terms of protecting their carries so far tonight. So if they can keep that up, I think they have a fighting chance here against Nemesis. But I really have to, Nemesis is a terrifying prospect still. They got tuned on the Mew.
Yeah, and I mean, just a shade under 100k damage. It was Toon on the Mew. The only outpaced by one player, Oblivion on Tacenda when they're on the Mew, and they actually broke the 6-digit mark there. And I know that's just sitting in the back of Toon's mind. What better of a team to break that 100k threshold than Tacenda, the other team that did that earlier in the event.
Yep, exactly. We got records to break on Unite Mics Mayhem. We absolutely need to be keeping track of these, by the way. Our stats and analytics. Don't worry, I'll make a tweet or something later. We'll try to cover all of our bases when it comes to that. Now, the teams are ready. Let's head into game here. Deuce next. Talk to me about these item builds.
Well, let's take a look as they're pulling them up here. Is Rex going to be jumping on that Snorlax? Surely. Barnwell going to be stacking a little bit. Morning taking a look. No surprises there. Stacking glasses, actually, might be worth noting. As we see a couple hit full heals. Bora going to be picking up the Shell Bell. And Freak on the goal-getter score shield. Cookie, Wait. All things that jive. Nothing too out of pocket here in this one.
No, I don't think so either. We're definitely seeing a lot of energy amplifier on the side of Tacenda, namely Delphox and Morning on the energy amp. I really like that choice in the Mr. Mime. I mean, when you already know how strong that Unite move is, you may as well just throw all your eggs in that basket and take over the game when that showstopper comes into play.
Yeah, when that amp is in action, every time is showtime. They're just, I mean, those spirit fingers are out and from moving. And Morning on Mr. Mime looking to get that done. Fui's got to be happy about getting the sword, though. I mean, there's a lot of comfort picks across this Nemesis squad. And I mean, the only one that's kind of out of the realm is our trio on Azumarill, but I can't imagine that that's so far off the reservation that we won't see a phenomenal performance.
Yeah, I mean, we see similar playstyles between the two Pokemon for sure. Azumarill has a lot of mobility in their kit. Greedent, similar vibes for them. A lot of knock-up plays as well. Let's take a look at where they decide to go off this opening rollout here. We already know where the Snorlax is headed. Rex is trying to find their home in the enemy central.
Absolutely, or at least gather that information, right? Do some reconnaissance. And JL getting a couple Pokemon rolling into their pocket. We see double experience shares there. And we see 2 players for Tacenda sitting as Barnwell's on the Charmander. They get that first buff. Glaceon splits. They get the other buff. So actually, Nemesis just shows up a little late to the party here as Tacenda gets the split central area, gets the buffs, and moves on to their next, which is hitting the paths.
I love that play from Tacenda. Completely predicting Nemesis' strategy. I mean, they just had the chance to watch the games play out last one and clearly see where they were going to be heading. And then splitting their jungle, it means that they get both buffs and give away absolutely nothing.
Yeah, Bora getting that Icy Wind early is crucial. Barnwell, of course, would like to get as much experience as humanly possible, but at least that negates the push that Nemesis was trying to get. However, 4 in the face of Tacenda and a big-time KO on that Glaceon by Rex means a ton of points are going to this goal zone, and Nemesis puts together a pretty decent stand as our trio on the... now just Meryl holding it down in the face of 2.
Yeah, Freak and Barnwell are going to be trying to push forward. Barnwell is stacking on this Charizard, but it's going to be tough to do with a pocket full of 30. A really long score timer is going to be tough to manage. Freak has not hit that level 5 yet, which is not too far off pace, but it still is not going to have the Greedent yet ready to go.
Yeah, Greedent just now evolves here. The Squovit evolves into Greedent. Nemesis back on the other side of the map as Bora is trying to clear up this Escavalier and chunk Rex. Barnwell's here for the support. Rex gets the heavy slam. They're going to try and get this buff as fast as they can, as they already got credit for 2 on that KO back on Bora the other time, but it's Bora that seals it up and gets that buff back for themselves.
There we go. Now, this bottom path definitely has already been hurting. That huge 4 Pokemon attack really put the brakes on them, but it is going to be up to the Delphox to level up and defend it a little bit better going forward. Freak has evolved, and now they can put a bit more pressure on the JL, create a little more space.
That's exactly what they're trying to do. Is the Delphox pulls up and chunks JL in a big way. Freak gets the KO in tandem, and that's a good look and a good counter punch. Toon Slim full HP, Electro Balls through. Bora is dusted. KO streak of 2 for Toon, and they're picking up steam, and you hate to see them get moving this quickly, this early. Toon can look to take over the game here.
Now, Morning does go down here. Fui finds a KO, and all of a sudden a surprise Archew emerges, and now Freak is the only one left up to defend. Archew gets the full 30, and they break the bottom goal zone already.
Leaves Freak out on the island. They get KO too easy. Bora's getting pushed and Fui's on the chase. JL's on the backside, and they get that KO no problem. They absolutely split Tacenda up into 5 equal parts and 8 each one up in systematic order. Nemesis looking very strong and moving very well in the face of this Tacenda squad.
Our trio trying to put up a little bit of a fight against Morning. However, they are the ones that are able to get the KO. This Pokemon definitely regarded as one of the strongest in the game for a reason. Oblivion, one of the strongest players in our lobby, though. They are going to be trying to shut down Rex, but a resetting Rex a little bit too much to conquer.
and gets on the backside of Oblivion. They'll be able to slam them up and hopefully help leverage a engage on them with JL. As we're looking at Tacenda, and they care about that top path. They have 3 players there, but guess who's squatting in the grass? Old Toon Slim and Fui are looking to get it done. As Toon Slim's gonna Electro Ball, boosted auto, get back in the action. Regieleki's at 50%.
Barnwell does call out, knows that they are in that location right now. Regieleki does leash, so a bit of a change from where Rotom was operating like in the last game. Now, I'm sorry I did not catch that fight at all in the bottom path. Morning was able to secure it, so Barnwell's going to move forward. Regieleki brought down by Toon. The Mew secures it, and they get the KO onto Barnwell.
Barnwell goes down. Boar is trying to hold it down the face of Tomb. That Solar Beam has a deep range as Fui's going to let that thing hit, and they're going to be able to get some huge overcap action here as they peel up and try and get those points in. They're just letting that timer expire as much as possible as they have a clean 80 to get this thing done.
There we go. Let our trio get in 18 and 40 followed up. That is a 38-point overdunk. Incredible work there from Nemesis.
Yeah, just playing it and sandbagging it to the best of their ability, getting tons of experience while they wait, and really able to destroy that goal zone in the best overdunk possible. Great podcast. Check it out.
Yeah, thank you. I couldn't plug it twice in one broadcast. Now, Tacenda here with a good amount of experience, knocking out that Registeel a little bit earlier, definitely going to be paying off. 2 Unite moves here, utilized on this push. JL comes down to an absolute battle as Freak tries to chase down Toon Slim. Barnwell also bringing in Charizard as they chase down the Mew and the Hoopa, but they don't want to push too far. You got to respect the damage.
They threw all their Unite moves on top of that goal zone and hoping whoever came through that portal was going to get eviscerated right out of the gate. Our trio's trying to hold it down in the face of their favorite Pokemon, the Greedent, as Toon Slim's going to lock in. They surf to engage, but they don't hit anybody. Freak's caught on the backside. Rex engages back on them. Big push and an easy KO. And of course, Toon Slim gets credit because who else do you want to feed if you're on Nemesis?
Yeah, at that point, we just have JL playing for a little bit of vision here, hiding out in a bush, making sure that they could see everything if Tacenda was going to be trying to rotate him to that top path. I really want to showcase, though, that play from Toon on surfing in the Charizard back into their own team. A phenomenal play. Mew has access to so many possibilities. One of those is displacement thanks to Surf, and Toon a master of that move already.
And they're just going to rip through this Regirock right here. Can he get that special defense and defense boost? As here comes Freak trying to do a little solo heroics as they're getting bubbled out and you're getting beat up. That's a big block. They're forced to jump back on the other side. Can they engage here as they are just throwing so much static into the face of this Nemesis squad who's like, please, I just want this Regirock. Finally, they take it. And they're huge push by Tacenda up top. We see the Delphox Unite move. Can they leverage that? Forces out the Unite move by by Rex on the Snorlax. They're going to throw up a block here, and of course JL has to use their Unite move as well, and they're going to get those back in time for Rayquaza in the final throws of this game, and they're able to defend the Regieleki, but a good little push by Tacenda as they're trying to catch out Toon. They are so low, they're using their Unite to escape. Just on a sliver of health, not worried about getting back in the mix.
They force out the Unite move for sure, but they're probably going to be able to get it back in if I'm guessing. Toon does need to reset all the way back thanks to all that damage, so that could be an important factor in how fast they can clear and get that Unite charge back up and running. 163 to 271 is definitely a pretty sizable Nemesis lead, but nothing that Tacenda can't come back from. They're trying to start that right here with a huge engage.
Yeah, they're looking to get our trio off the map very quickly. Big block by Rex, but they're getting eviscerated. Everything's on this goal zone, and all the pressure is in the face of Nemesis. Can they close that thing out in a big way? Charizard comes out, picks up JL. They're going to try and burn them down. They're so low as they flip onto Fui, who's all alone. Big Unite by Freak, going to get a KO with Delphox as Morning goes down, but all the pressure is still in the face of Nemesis. They're catching a huge reset as JL and Rex, but the pressure's still going. Our trio's left behind. Can anybody jump on them as there's 2 players down at Tacenda, despite throwing everything in the kitchen sink right into Nemesis' face?
They do break the goal zone, which is an important factor, but I mean, and no Regieleki as well. 10 seconds until Rayquaza spawns, but they are still on the back foot. They are going to get this call out that they are not in the lead right now in these next 3 seconds, and look at where Toon is hiding. As a full 50, they're already moving towards this goal zone, but a lot of Tacenda is still back in their own central area.
Yeah, Toon's going for it here. Oblivion has to collapse and trying to make sure they can get that done. That was a good little shot as Toon Slim is chunk. Bora's on the chase, then Icy Wind's guaranteed. That's a huge KO, and Tacenda needs to convert now. They have the gate open. Can they walk through? Our trio finds its marking combo with Fui. That's a KO back the other way, and both powerful players for both teams are already down.
Oblivion jumped middle, so there might not be back in time to stop. They do stop our trio from getting that score in. That is absolutely huge. Oblivion is popping off right now with a massive play. Let's jump back over here to this main fight. Barnwell blocked up with a Hyperspace Fury, and Rex is looking for some forward presence.
Don't forget the Mr. Mime got a huge hundo banger up top, and that's really spread this lead out. Now they just got to play defense. The Delphox Unite is how JL goes down. 3 players down for Nemesis, and this is a good defensive stand as they're trying to chase down Toon. They know they're the last one on the horizon. Morning already did their hard work. They scored 100 points, and they're trying to chase down Toon Slim and buy some time. The rest of Tacenda is collapsing, and it's just on Rex if they want to make a play. The prayer lies on the Snorlax where they get isolated, scooped up, and dusted. They are burned down to a crisp, and Fat is good. It's Chitlins right now as Barnwell gets credit for that one, and Tacenda looking good here in game 1.
They still got a score, though. Fui is able to stop a lot of it, but there we go. A full 70 goes in, and another Hundo Duncan from Oblivion. Absolute massive Hundo Burger from them, and there we go. The white flag is brought up. Tacenda is going to win that first game. Unbelievably good macro plays in those final moments.
Great work by Tacenda. Oblivion, you're nasty. Coming through, holding down the goal zones, no question, as Nemesis was kind of let scrambling. Toon gets caught out trying to score. Oblivion and Bora come down, close the door on that. Yes, our trio takes care of Bora, but the damage was already done. Tacenda leverages that and takes over.
Yeah, what a game there. Tacenda wins this first one, putting themselves up on match point, up 1-0 in our first Unite Mics Mayhem with incredible performances on damage as you're looking at right now. But it also is going to be giving them the choice whether they want first pick or second pick. So they're going to be in charge of their own destiny here as we head into game number 2.
I'm just giving a little thought as to where Nemesis wants to go. I don't think the weakest link by any means here was our trio on that character that they don't play as often, or at least we're not as familiar with them on in that Azumarill. I think it was more just kind of systematic choices through the collective of the team where they were moving throughout that game, which put them a little bit behind. And you have to tip the cap to Tacenda. They are reading them like a book and exactly where they need it. I mean, you said Oblivion jumps to the middle. Are they going to have time to score? Nope. Because Oblivion just stitching in their skill shots, making sure a trio couldn't score. But again, where's our trio when the fight's breaking out in the middle? Far away from home. Where was Toon when the fight was breaking out in the middle? Far away from home. And Oblivion sorting that out like with a 1v1 and Bora collapsing in the case of Toon was really all they wrote.
Yeah, you are correct. Yeah, a bit of a spread out play there from Nemesis. Tacenda capitalizing, and you even called it out, but I missed it. That Mr. Mime with that big 100 score in the top half after they had the little bit of play. So, all right, here we go. Tacenda is choosing to have first ban, and they are going to be first banning Mew.
First banning Mew. Okay, so they're isolating. They're taking the different script here. They're saying, okay, at worst, we're going to have 2 of the most powerful Pokemon in the game, where we've broken up the Triforce already, right? And most importantly, like you said, I think they're playing directly into Toon and saying, let's get this thing out of here. Let's not let that go.
They keep up the Gengar ban here, Tube Snacks.
They really... I mean, you have to give credit to, they're banning Gengar out from under Bora, but Bora's doing great work on these Glaceons, and now Tacenda has the opportunity to do that again.
Bora is gotta be the best Gengar player on the globe because they have demanded a whole bunch of respect here in Mayhem in week number 1 here. So now Tacenda has their choice of first pick. Of course, Mime and Glaceon, both great options. If I'm Tacenda, though, I am probably picking up that Glaceon. I want to make sure that Toon doesn't have access to either Mew or Glaceon. These just absolute power picks right now in the central area. I'm taking that one. I'm okay giving up the Mr. Mime. That being said, Morning was absolutely phenomenal in that Mime in game number 1.
Yeah, I still favor the camp of, give Bora Glaceon again. I mean, they're doing good work there. It's not going to be in the hands of Nemesis. And Mr. Mime is most likely not going to end up on Toon. It's probably going to end up on Rex. So, or JL, which of course for you is something you're comfortable with
Yep,
because you've got the firepower. Mr. Mime is yes good, but I think it has a little bit more mitigating abilities through your other picks
for sure.
than Glaceon.
Yep, could not agree more. We have chat's telling me that I have to run into Boral at ladder if I really want to see what's going on, and I guess I do. I'm not going to see it in tonight's games, clearly. It's just getting banned left or right and center. But we have a Mr. Mime pick from Tacenda to start us off in the draft. So we already talked about it. They had their few options. I'm surprised they didn't go with Glaceon, but still, locking up Mr. Mime for morning does seem like a great option still.
Yeah, and it leaves Nemesis with the availability to go ahead and prioritize Glaceon if they want. And if they don't go there, then for Tacenda, it's a free roll. And Tacenda can even go something like Glaceon Greedent and then like really try and neuter Nemesis like right out of the gates here. So this is going to be an important 2 picks for Nemesis to really sculpt out how the rest of this thing's going to shake out. Now, you're talking about Tacenda never getting, or Bora never getting to play Gengar and Tacenda. Well, if they win, they pick the rules for next week within reason. So they can actually, put themselves in a pretty favorable position to have Bora, with kind of that home field advantage and taking that Gengar. But here we go. Nemesis locks in Charizard, eh?
Yeah, an interesting pick. I mean, Tacenda played the Charizard so extremely well in that last game. This could be just trying to remove it from their side. And they're also going to be securing up the Snorlax. So Nemesis constantly perma pick on this Snorlax throughout the day, giving Tacenda the Glaceon for absolutely free.
Yeah, so Tacenda's got to be feeling great. And like I said, if I'm Tacenda now, they've free rolled Glaceon. I would choose Glaceon and I would choose Greedent again. Freak on Greedent didn't look awful by any means. They're doing good work and they're causing static. And if that forces another S tier Pokemon out of Nemesis's hands when you're talking about specific individuals, that's not a bad place to be, Zoinks.
It's not at all. I am really, really interested to see what Tacenda wants to do. It really seems like Glaceon and blank. And if I'm Tacenda, I'm taking Greedent again. I'm taking Glaceon Greedent right here. Like, this seems like rote to me. If I'm on Tacenda, I would absolutely want to shut them down. However, they are going back to a beautiful choice, in my opinion. The Mamoswine gets selected, as well as Glaceon.
As well as Glaceon. So my big question with Mamoswine is I don't think Nemesis cares about Mamoswine whatsoever.
Yeah, that is very true. Especially with these next 2 picks, I want to give you a little bit more information before you start doing analysis. They are going with Serena and Blissey as their next 2 options.
Interesting. So Tacenda still has the opportunity to cut off Greedent here, which isn't anything I hate. But again, they could have easily just gotten Mamoswine in this position and maybe taken Zarina if you were concerned about that or whatever. I mean, I just think like Mamoswine is easy last pickable, and not one you care about too much if Nemesis like feels like they have to cut you off from that.
That is true. Also, I see some talk about it in chat. Just want to clear it up. We are playing with no emblems on tonight's format, because that's just the way we set up the custom lobbies. That was how we were doing our week 1 format. If week 2 format changes up a little bit, we'll see. Who knows? That announcement will be coming on Thursday, but. Otherwise, for today's format, no emblems being played.
I'd be willing to weigh in and say no emblems, period. But
we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, when you don't know what everybody has available on their account, it's a little tough. Okay, you just OMG'd what we got.
What universe are we living in? Okay, this one makes sense. But we're about to see the Unite Mics Mayhem debut of the Trevenants.
Senda is on one. They are feeling it. They're like, look, we got Mime and Glaceon. Everything else just feeds into those 2. And Nemesis, of course. Oh, Delphox! Woo!
Delphox pick. Okay. Interesting. All right, so that is our setup so far. I'm gonna just make sure I get these lobby codes from these teams. But Deucex, in your mind, who gets the better edge of this draft?
It's again on raw power level. It's really hard to compete in the face of Glaceon and Mime. It's like tough for me to get over that mental hurdle. And especially when I look at Nemesis and I don't necessarily see their players with their like Pokemon that you know them for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can't even say that Nemesis drafted to the people on the team necessarily. Now, Nemesis has phenomenal players, and they chose the Pokemon that they believe will allow them to win this matchup, of course. But just across the board, with no other information, I have to tip the cap to Tacenda here.
Okay, okay. I mean, the Trevenant pick is really a wild card in my opinion. Like, I think that is
Let the record show it has way less to do with, like, let's say, I don't know, the Trevenant pick
Okay,
than them
sure.
getting Mime and Glaceon off the rip. Know what
That
I mean?
is so interesting. Yeah, Tombstone, in what world do you ban Mew and you still get Mime and Glaceon in your
This one,
picks?
Unite Mics Mayhem, baby. We out here, week 1. We're doing it in a big way. And you know
Oh,
what? Shout
man.
out to Nemesis and Tacenda and all other teams willing to shake it up a little bit and not
Absolutely.
fit the mold that we would have pre-prescribed for them, which is, ban both. First pick takes the third one and then go from there.
Yeah.
I love that we're mixing it up.
Yeah, I love it too. I got to admit, I'm really excited to see how this game number 2 shakes out. Nemesis has a few power pick. I mean, they got Fui on this arena again. This is a pick. This is a pick that if it was not been banned, which has been banned a lot, they are always picking up constantly. They love getting this player the hands on this Pokemon. So if Fui can really take over on this arena, we specifically seen them try to shut down the carry targets like Glaceon, but even if the Mamoswine is a crazy engage, they can get the shutdown there.
I'm looking for that, and big time shutdowns is what they're gonna need here. Is let's give them a moment to select their characters and see what their loadouts are. No surprises by Free. Our Trio on Charizard.
Okay.
Somebody actually just put it in the chat. Rigbert, or excuse me, can't stop him. Saying Art's been maining Charizard this patch quite a bit, so they're definitely on something they're comfortable with, which I love to see. Of course, you have to leverage that into the face of these players. I mean, they have so much confidence in this Charizard. They first picked it, Zoids.
That is true. I mean, I assume trying to take it away from Barnwell as we head into this next game, but I'm interested to see where Oblivion takes this Aegislash. They're running Focus Band, Weakness Policy, 2 more tanky, bulky items, but they're also opting into the Float Stone, that movement speed, attack damage item. It has a really good chance to try to steal away some Pokemon from the central area, but you gotta know, JL on this Snorlax is probably gonna be in your face.
Yeah, JL and the Snorlax is definitely going to be in your face, and they're going to be trying to hunt down Toon on Delphox here. But if Delphox is schmoving, they're going to be able to stay out of range, dip, duck, dive, dodge, and dip, and make sure that they don't get touched, and then absolutely flamethrower you straight in the grill. So Oblivion looks like if they use that float stone, they're going to cross the map here, going a little journey.
Okay, so it is a bit of an invade. They are going to match paths here with JL. So they are going to be spotted. They are going to have their options. They can retreat, or they can try to push past that out-secure Toon, but Toon's already started on the clear. They're going a little bit slow, knocking out the ball toys first.
Oblivion coming up, going to try and chunk some damage and seal up that Bunnelby in the middle. They don't actually, excuse me, Indeedee in the middle. They don't actually get it. As Freak's peeling back, they're just a lowly Phantom. They're going to try and do work, and JL is just on the absolute chase, not giving up at all. Morning, you going to get your points in? Big question mark? There they get it. There it is. They get it done.
Oh no! And Rex steals away one berry, and they're able to shut Morning down before they could get to the second there. Barnwell doesn't get the last hit. They are stuck at a level 3 Roomba, and they are the lonely defenders here this bottom path, because Morning is not back quite yet.
No, not at all. Good push by Fui and Rex. They're working very well in tandem, pushing forward as Freak is looking for an opportunity to maybe get some points, and JL jumps onto the birds a little early. Freak looking to engage, and they're trying to get the most of those that they can. They actually can't take over as our Trio gets level 5. Charmeleon, a nice little helmet, and is ready to go.
Oh no, Barnwell's gonna go down, but it might be worth it. A big invulnerability frame there from Toon as they get the evolution. Morning keeps the chase down, but Toon is gonna make him regret that decision with a ton of damage. Oblivion goes down here, but all for the sake of Morning getting the escape route.
Yeah, I mean, there was a world there where I saw Toon getting 2 KOs and absolutely just gritting out. What a clutch evolution by them to get those invincibility frames. This Morning is just slapping Rex left and right, making sure they can't get their points in, as Rex is now holding 20 and getting in the face of Morning. And here's Barn, just a poor little swine up. You called it a Roomba. I think that's about accurate, because it's doing nothing else but sucking right now.
No, stop. Fui right now trying to get the chase down. The Glaceon not getting any of the last hits whatsoever. Let's jump on over to Bora, trying to clear their own central area again. Glaceon, of course, getting their Unite move at level 8, so getting that early spike. Fui with a KO streak at 2, though, unfortunately off camera. I'm sorry about that, but a huge advance on this bottom goal zone. It's going to be brought down to extremely low, not to mention Fui gets in a lot of stacks.
Yeah, lots of stacks, big KOs. The Pillow Swine, so I guess a Roomba with a Pompadour gets KO'd in the defense effort there. But Nemesis getting tons of points, and Tacenda really trying to find their footing here with this unique composition they've drummed up.
All right, Freak running that Curse Horn Leech, of course, and Rex and our tree, you just do so much damage to it. Freak is stacking that Aeos Cookie and attack weight, so they are going to be getting more and more powerful as the game goes on. Barnwell trying to find a good engage, and with Morning's power swap on their side, they actually are going to become one of the tankiest Pokemon in the entire game, showing favor towards Regirock, whereas Nemesis is actually showing a lot of presence towards Regieleki, or at least in the early moments.
Yeah, but it's Fui and Toon peeling down the face of Oblivion and Barnwell, which is so low. That's a double stomp and a Unite move that absolutely dusts them, and they're checking all the receipts here. CVS, it's getting long down there as they get easy KOs, and they're going to get a huge overcap downstairs because there's no one there to stop it. And Nemesis also taking control up top. This is a reinvigorated team, and Nemesis is not happy about losing that first one.
Not at all. They've carved themselves a pretty huge lead right now. Regieleki is starting to get poked. I forgot I have to be spectating the right team to be able to see the HP bar. But our Trio is going to get some really damage. It leashes right away, so they are taking their time, but mostly just waiting for some Unite moves to come back up. And now they are pushing forward. They absolutely demolished that Glaceon.
Yeah, getting suplexed from space by the Charizard is Bora, and that Oblivion showing up in the face of 3, and that Steel is looking to get melted. Our Trio is picking up the pace on that Charizard and looking very good. Oh man, Forest Fire starting here as Freak is getting burned down in the face of Toon and our Trio too easy, and now Nemesis is really taking over this one.
Fui was trying to get a little bit of an engage, see if they could steal any of the buffs just like they stole that Regirock moments ago, but not a likely situation. A very slow fight here around Regieleki. Neither team wanting to overcommit. A steal here could be monumental, but I think more so they're just trying to win a fight first so they could break and then grab the Lecky.
Yeah, absolutely. Have that be the biggest part of this map is that Regieleki. It really seems to be the objective that these teams are favoring here. Mr. Mime getting deep with Unite move. Delphox Unite as well. They're going to try and find Purchase. Snorlax Unite comes back the other way to get some HP on JL as Rex is moving forward and Toon is just trying to find a KO somewhere. Nobody's down yet. Trevenant Unite forced out and Rex is caught, JL caught in the middle of that, but it's Tacenda holding it down on their goal zone. Bora goes down and that's a huge KO if you're Nemesis. And we got our Trio scoring 40 downstairs. Oblivion holding it down. Can they get a KO? Finally, it's JL that goes down on the Snorlax. Barnwell is trying to hold it down as well, but it's Fui. It's Fui that's absolutely taken over. Wendy's 4 for 4. Let's go, Fui. Absolutely heating up.
A huge Quadra coming out of them, leaving that goal zone on 1. A dangerous position, obviously, but even more so here of the Sky Ruins. A little bit of a silver lining. Freak was able to last hit that Regieleki and send it the other direction, but still the onslaught keeps coming. Nemesis ain't slowing down.
No, and I don't think Freak has enough to hold this thing down. With Bora pulling up just a day late dollar short, they're not going to be able to stop that. Nemesis shatters that goal zone, and the whole time this fight has broken out, our Trio scoring points in that goal zone downstairs.
Wait, we really were wondering where that player was going to end up in terms of Pokemon selection. I mean, Greedent being not selected this entire draft, we had no idea where our Trio was going to end up, showcasing that, yeah, they've put in the time on this Charizard selection this season, and it is paying off in a major way.
Yeah, and they're moving well with the team, right? They understand exactly. They suplexed Bora into dust, and then they went straight to the bottom path, didn't follow that up with anything else, and knew they had an opportunity to score. Fui's looking for an opportunity. Double stand comes through. Here comes Rex with a support Unite move, hitting Oblivion. That's a huge chunk KOs. The Trevenant Unite comes out. Mime trying to find their way in, and it's showtime. Spirit Fingers all over. Can they convert, though? 2 players from Tacenda down, and it's Nemesis that's feeling it as they're pushing forward on the back of Toon and Fui. JL leading the charge as well, as it looks like Fui's going downstairs to score. Bora getting cut off from their own goal zone, and can somebody come up to close the door on Bora? Big question, as those icy winds are all over JL, and they're in their summer shirt, but they might need a winter coat, as here comes Rex to see if they can get the pickup, and they do. Toon cuts it off, and Nemesis makes it out.
Bora is the central area player for their team, and right now they haven't even hit level 12. On the other hand, Nemesis has a multiple players at level 13 and a trio on that level 12 who spent the majority of this game just finding scores across the map. So right now, Nemesis is taking over the game, not only in terms of points, but their level lead is phenomenal as well.
Yeah, and a good little push by JL. Regieleki is going straight into the face of Tacenda, and we're going to see how they play this, because they definitely need to leave some players there to catch, but they have other things on the map they could be doing, pressuring downstairs, as Nemesis is probably going to get the basement Reggie for free.
Yeah, our tree is the only one camping out here so far. Toonslim pushing up to see if they could get a nice little back cap with that Regieleki push, but one player defending that goal zone is going to be enough to ward off Toon and instead take the secondary prize of Regi Ice. That being said, Tacenda's not out of it quite yet. They were showing a lot of presence up forward, but seeing both Rex and JL defending, they are also going to be retreating.
I mean, Tacenda might have the two strongest characters in the game available on their squad, but when you're getting outpaced and outleveled like Nemesis is doing to them right now, they look kind of sad in comparison, and I'm pretty sure our trio strictly on Bora duty as this fight's getting ready to break out.
Rex with a little bit of an intel play, throwing their big body into that bush. They find Freak there, and now Freak has to retreat a little bit. Their position given away. They want to land this Unite move onto multiple targets. They get both supports.
Fui gets cut off, jumps on top of Bora that went too far deep, and a good engage by JL to get that KO open up to Nemesis, and a great convert by Fui. Oh, Bliss assistance, Rex over the wall, tries to get all over Fui, and they're going to work through Barnwell as Barnwell uses their Unite back the other way to give them some sustain, but Oblivion peels up top as the sword is getting hunted down, but as Rex is peeling up, the Drogo tries to score in their face, and it's Nemesis left in the middle all by their lonesome.
Toon putting out absolutely haymakers worth of damage. Fui gets yet another KO. I see why this Pokemon has been banned constantly for this team. Fui is running all over top of them right now, stamping his name into their heads, for crying out loud.
Our trio KO streak of 3, we were waiting for them to come alive, and they certainly did. And they don't even care about Rayquaza. They're trying to get as many points as they can, as they're up by just under 300 points now, Zoinks.
Fui has been on not even level 15 yet. They're finally probably going to hit this with this wild Pokemon knockout. They hit their level cap. 45 seconds left in this game. Tacenda has so much to come back from in this game. Their bulky, tanky composition has not been paying off quite yet, especially now they're focusing down Rayquaza, but it's going to be tough to find a last hit.
Yeah, Delphox Unite can chew them up if that's still available as they're working through, and that's JL with the Unite move right in the middle. Here comes Toonsling, chunking a ton of damage. 3 players for Tacenda down. Barnwell's not long for this world, and neither is Mime, as that is a full team wipe. 10 Jack Queen King, and that's an ace.
Another KO streak of 3 for Fui, by the way. JL doing their own form of a dance there on the enemy goal zone. A full team wipe right now, and Nemesis making this match a 1-1 scoreline.
Couldn't ask for anything more in week 1 of Unite Mics Mayhem, but a full stretch game 3 for the finals. Tacenda, they got to look to something else, because the power level between the two characters that they chose didn't really bring them across the finish line to face a Nemesis.
It's interesting too, because Nemesis wasn't even getting great early invades there across the board, but really it was just Fui finding these angles to get these early KOs. Barnwell just couldn't quite get those level ups. You made some comments about their vacuum abilities, but Fui was really finding some big KOs onto them particularly, and that ended up with a nice little scoreline of 16 KOs.
Just a humble, sweet 16 there. Gonna have to line them up for some festivities. I think that was a show on MTV at some point in time. Doesn't matter. As look at that damage output between Toon and Fui, looking very good indeed here in game 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll have game 3 queued up in just a moment here. I just got a message to the two teams, but we got a 1-1 stat line here. So this next game decides everything for Unite Mics Mayhem week number 1. Doopsnacks, why don't you remind everybody what they're playing for one more time?
Of course, Glory, without a doubt. Coming back next week, without a doubt. $100, of course, and the winner gets to pick the format for the following week, giving them a little home field advantage. So if you're Tacenda, you're probably making, I don't know, Gengar unbannable or whatever. And if you're Nemesis, I don't know, whatever you want. You got the opportunities here, but that's what's on the line here in Unite Mics Mayhem week 1.
Yeah, exactly. We haven't quite decided how it's exactly gonna look, but basically, you win the $100, you win the invite back, and then you get to decide the format for the next tournament series. All right, we're already jumping into draft. I am still getting things set up, but the teams are cruising. So let's get this sorted. First ban went over to Tacenda, and they decided to ban the Mr. Mime right out of the gates.
Okay, Tacenda does not want Mr. Mime on the map, so Nemesis has the opportunity to either give themselves a potential at one of the two broken characters left, if that's the direction they want to go. Nope, they say Muse off, and Tacenda, if you want Glaceon, you got it, because we know how to beat it now.
There we go. Okay, so Tacenda gets their first option to pick. Glaceon definitely did not work out great for them, but oh my gosh, chat. Gengar's available. That's right, Cheese-Kun. It's Bora time. Gengar could be the first pick for Tacenda if they so choose.
Well, if there's any point in time to do it, now's it. I mean, if you're Bora, you've been putting in chat how much everyone hates you. Well, they're giving you the biggest game in Unite Mics Mayhem Week 1 opportunity here is Game 3 of the finals. If this isn't when you pull the trigger on Gengar, I don't really know when is.
Yeah, that's... I have to agree in a sense. But yeah, we'll see where they go. But I see a lot of love for Bora in the chat. They really, really, really want this Gengar pick. For the people, no. Well, not yet, at least. We have a Glaceon pick on the side of Tacenda.
So they're giving it up to... So what that signals to me is they believe they're going to get Gengar on the hop. Now, tune on...
I don't know. All right, well, maybe. We'll see.
I mean, that might be what they're looking for here.
Yeah.
I mean, big time question mark Zoinks. That's what's amazing about Pikmin.
That is very true. And that's why I don't put real money on it. Because who knows?
True.
All right. Nemesis going with their double pick that has kind of become iconic tonight so far. Charizard and Snorlax.
Okay, so look, they get the Gengar if they want it regardless. Just like I said, Zoinks.
You are so right. You are so right.
Just like I said. So, look, now, if Tacenda doesn't take the Gengar, now... Look, they could swap out the Gengar for the Mamoswine, and I think they'd already be in a better spot.
That's true. Man. Okay, so Lax and Charizard, though, for Nemesis has been paying off really, really well so far today. But another great element it does for Nemesis is it showcases the Charizard saying, go ahead, pick Greedent. We don't care. So far, our trio has been playing lights out on this Pokemon. It's totally okay if we give this selection to them. They have multiple threats. We saw them on the Azumarill as well. They didn't win that game, so it's tough for me to get a great amount of analysis of their individual gameplay, but they really did look great.
No, what that begs the question is, you can't really cut off our trio from a critical Pokemon. There's no one trick here when it comes to our trio. They have plenty of Pokemon in the pocket, which really changes up the approach of your strategy of even things you can consider. Yes. Now, Tacenda, I keep saying it. I'm not saying it's the greatest thing strategically. I'm just saying you've been running it down with about Gengar. You're getting it banned left, right, and center. If you don't run it now, I don't know when you do. And they go Blissing Wigglytuff, and now I'm wrong again. I've gone from being the rightest to the wrongest.
I think this is just what happens when you're a caster for Bobas. I mean, I think that is just what is always going to be the case. We are always going to be wrong in draft, and we just got to lean into it as much as we can. For example, I'm pretty sure Kenny Chesney was in the bodyguard, and I don't know if chat could tell me otherwise. But okay, our next two picks for Tacenda, taking two of the pink puffball Pokemon, we have Blissey and Wigglytuff. Now, Tacenda's Wigglytuff looked fantastic last time we saw it. Morning was playing amazing on this Pokemon. That's kind of where my little stumble over the words came from in the first place. You called them Celine Dion, I called them another iconic music star. But I really think that they can play this well enough to shut down some of Nemesis' key targets. Mainly, I'm thinking if you can try to find a way to cute charm away a Serena from one of your weaker targets, could be a big play.
Could be a very big play. My concern, again, with this pick order here is I do believe you can get Wigglytuff later on in the selection here. So, if you get some really good Pokemon going back into Nemesis's hands, It's just, again, like, I mean, they got Mamo and Wigglytuff last time, and now JL's gonna get a pocket pick and Hoopa, which is huge. And then you have Fui on Zarina. Literally, Toon is saying, "I will play anything. I don't care." Okay, now I'm saying it. Now, if Tacenda doesn't pick Gengar, I don't want to hear anything about Boris Gengar ever.
But where do you put? Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. You're right. Gengar definitely has to be picked here for the people. For the people. Now, unfortunately, because of the way our layout works, we don't get to see the players like hovering over picks like we get to do in other games. One day that technology will be unlocked for sure. But to send out with these final 2 picks, Nemesis just really locking in this composition that they have been playing a variation of all day long. This Snorlax, Serena, and then either Charizard or Greedent, kind of one of those options, have been so good for them today. Definitely found them a dominant game win in their first matchup. In this second matchup, though, things have been a little bit tighter.
Yeah, definitely tighter. You know, we're in game 3 again. That's why I keep going back to the Gengar Zoinks. And am I saying is it strategically the strongest? Maybe not. But if you're going to leverage a Pokemon that has been banned from you in almost every game you've played, Lucario. That's a Unite Mics Mayhem first here. Lucario coming through in game 3.
Their debut. It's also another debut for their next pick. It's the Gengar chat. Tacenda gets the Gengar. Let's go. Bora Reach has been picked. Pop off. We were all hoping for it. It has finally happened. Tacenda has done it. Now, what does Toon pick? They honestly could just pick the all random probably if they wanted to. But they have to be going up against Bora Reach themselves. The Rank Demon. The Hexgar Believer. I'm gassing them up so much I haven't even seen them play. Doom Snacks.
Well, look, the chat is feeling it. I'm feeling it. Obviously, their competitors have felt it because they've banned it so much. So I'm glad that it's making its way into the game. We're looking at Toon. Whatever this pick is whatever Toon wants. I mean, they have great options here. Sword, Delphox.
Ooh, nice second option there. I like that one.
And I've said this word multiple times, schmoovin'. And these players, when they picked up Delphox, have been absolutely schmoovin'. Toon, no exception, gonna try and take this thing over and has a good opportunity. So for me, you know, obviously I'm looking at how Toon navigates here, but of course, all the spotlight's on Bora in this Gengar, without a doubt.
Absolutely. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in so far today. We're headed into our final game here of Unite Mic Mayhem week number 1. We're going to be doing this event for the next 3 weeks every Tuesday evening at that same time. So make sure to check it out. One of these teams will be invited back to week number 2. So whoever wins, you are going to see a little bit more of with the new format, more teams to play against, and of course, you know, entirely new format. So we will see. But yeah, our game number 2 is going to be headed in. Chat, you're looking at the final draft of tonight. Who won this draft, and how can you not say Tacenda when Bora reaches on Gengar?
Hey, we're throwing a lot of favoritism around here. I mean, Nemesis looks stout. You have a lot of players on their number 1 choice if they had it on a blank canvas here. JL on Hoopa. You've got Fui on Zarina. Rex is no slouch, of course, on Snorlax. Our trio has been working on this Charizard. And, of course, we just saw Toon on Delphox. Tacenda, on the other hand, I mean, we're pretty much... Now, I'm not saying the other Pokemon don't matter. I'm just saying we've built up this Bora Gengar thing pretty high. Pretty high.
I probably just need to spectate them the entire game, but we'll see how it goes down for sure. Thank you everybody for hanging out. This is a very interesting draft. We've talked about a lot of Pokemon so far today. The Gengar's getting a lot of spotlight, of course, at the tail end of our draft here, but I mean, some other selections on Tacenda are pretty wild. I mean, the return of Lucario as well is going to be interesting. Due to their composition, I'm actually leaning towards a power-up punch selection. I mean, so many slow effects and stuns. You really might want to just get a big amount of burst damage all at once. Combine your Gengar and Lucario attack moves to really, you know, throw some damage towards Nemesis's way. But who knows? If you could find a way into the backline of Hoopa Delphox, you could leverage that as well.
they're going to definitely need to leverage that without a doubt if they want an opportunity in this game. I mean, case in point. Let's take a look at these items real quick, see if we can see anything special.
JL Assault Vest, if we want to bring that up. I mean, 4 special attacking Pokemon on the side of Tacenda. Assault Vest actually will be getting some payoff there in this game. So that is an interesting item. We don't see it very often. Maybe a little bit more in this meta. More so when I think Mime enters the playing field. But yeah, a little bit different this time around. Rex, of course, on that experience share. JL running it as well. 2 experience share, I think, was so strange to see in the early days of this meta. But it's actually a great play when you know that you'll always be hitting that passive experience gain no matter what. Because instead of just having to focus one player on being low level, now you can just kind of have great coverage on 2 of your options.
Exactly. I think that Assault Vest is directly related to this pick ban format that we're using here in Unite Mics Mayhem #1. And being able to see, like you said, 4 special attackers on the other side. It's Assault Vest time. Time to strap up and go to work. We've got the bank robbers coming through. Let's make sure our chest's protected. And JL's feeling that in a big way here on that beautiful Hoopa. Love that Hollowware, by the way.
That is true. I also, chat was shouting it out to me. 4 full heal on the side of Nemesis, by the way. 4 heal doesn't last forever, but when the majority of the team has it, then he's going to be a tough option for Bora to find the shutdown on.
Go ahead and confirm that as a yes there, Zoinks. Full heal can do tons of work, especially when every character is holding it. And look at that. Look at how quickly they're pushing across the map as JL, and they're trying to get into this Ghastly's face in short order. As we're going to see them populate on the screen, and Rex is all over, and they're going to go ahead and take that. At least Morning got it out from under Nemesis here. Rex is getting a lot of pressure as Bora's trying to engage. A KO on Rex would be huge, but Bora's getting pretty low. JL's keeps chipping in shots, and Morning's left on the backside to fend for themselves as they're trying to roll it out, and Rex is relentless. So is JL. A good little stun up. Is Rex gonna go down there so low? They take a nap, but can they convert on this KO? Morning is low. Rex actually gets the KO there, and they're gonna get another one. Are you kidding me? 2 players down. Rex survives on the shred of health, and JL's gonna reset them both. Nemesis cannot be upset about that.
When that focus ban went down, I thought it was over for Rex, but JL buying enough time. That range damage made the Ghastly have to run, and they came back through that hyperspace hole, by the way. They ain't done. Rex takes another buff. They are double buffed up in level 4.5.
Yeah, Ghastly, we were pretty gassed up about seeing it, but it has nothing right now, and it is just a paltry level 4, and that's not where you want your central area player to be, as everyone on Nemesis but Rex is already level 5.
That is true. Pretty hard counter going in towards them. Barnwell taking a lot of early damage. Morning with a nice chase on that sleep. JL could be in a lot of trouble. Full heal baited out here, and they are able to escape. However, like you said, we don't have too many other Pokemon to capitalize on that unstoppable condition quite yet.
Ghastly going back to their central as Delphox was able to bully them out of the middle there. And Toon just going to get another Aselgor buff. Going to roll back through, see who they can pick off. And I think Oblivion's going to be on the chopping block as they get chunked huge. Toon Slim just literally tucking behind Rex as they're trying to get an engage on Oblivion. Morning just chasing down and getting a good sleep on Toon. JL's going to hit a reset and get Toon out of danger. Good work by the support Pokemon.
There we go. Now Bora goes in, takes a lot of damage from Rex on that heavy slam. Now Morning is keeping up this offense despite being so low HP, but thanks to the Blissey combination, they're playing off pretty well. Descenda's just too low of HP bars though right now, and Toon is going to be able to capitalize.
Nemesis absolutely buckling this Tacenda squad. I mean, yes, Freak's up top getting a bunch of stacks in, but they're nowhere near where the action is, as Fui is across the map and they're getting a buff for themselves here. This Aselgor buff is going to go to them. No, Rex comes through with the stam and takes it, but Oblivion's getting chunked up and pushed out as Fui's all over them in a pocket with Rex as well. There's KO #1. Now #2 is right around the corner here as Bora goes down. Morning's trying to put Rex to sleep, but that's a fruitless endeavor as those mitts are just slapping a big old tummy, and there ain't nothing doing damage to that Snorlax right now.
Yeah, belly drum only does damage to yourself when you use that attack. Does not do it when you're belly drumming the opponent, so unfortunate scenes there. Barnwell trying to get the chase down here on JL are out-leveling their support counterparts, so there are some silver linings here for Tacenda. Now let's jump back up to the central here for a second as Freak is trying to get the chase down. Finally, Rex is KO. Tacenda takes 3 of them to do it, but they finally KO that big bad tank.
Good chunk of damage on Freak, and good that Glaceon Oblivion picked up that KO, get them the experience. That's where you want it. As all of Tacenda is working on this Regice, and JL's just hanging out. They get egg bombed out and sussed out. Freak looking for the engage on Toon. They get in pretty deep, and they get a KO that's huge. The Unite move comes out, and it's only Barnwell sitting in the middle. But it's Nemesis that takes the Regice off of JL Prayer, and now JL's pushing forward. They're feeling it. Oblivion on the run down here. They're level 9, and Rex and JL not willing to give up this goal zone push just yet, as they're trying to get the berries. JL's trying to score, and they're leashed around. But look at where the Regieleki is. Morning trying to hold it down in the face of 2, but it's Fui and Artrio being absolutely relentless, as Barnwell and Freak are trying to get some KOs, but it's the KOs that are coming in for Fui, just racking up the stat sheets, and Freak's forced to retreat.
Oh, things are getting out of hand on Thea Sky Ruins. That could get terrifying right now. Fui is unstoppable right now. They gave the Mana Quadra as they came and kept trying to stop their stacks. You cannot give the Serena this much room to work. 1 by 1 is a death sentence when it comes to fighting this Pokemon.
Listen, you get a burgers, fries, a shake, and a drink for that 4-pack. Holy smokes. Fui is heating up, and that Unite move is just chucked in there because Toon's like, why not? Might as well use it at this point. Nemesis absolutely taking over on the experience and on the scoreboard here, looking very good, and it feels like Tacenda cannot get on the same page across their whole squad.
They have a lot of burst damage, but the general tankiness that Nemesis has is becoming just a little bit too much for them to overcome right now.
Oh, big slam by Rex susses out Freak, and they're going to be able to push them out and send them scrambling as just another good goal zone stand by Nemesis. Just efficient and clear defense.
Yeah, Barnwell the forward advance. Now they try to find JL and shut them down early. Big Unite move there from Oblivion, trying to make some space and Blitz assistance as well, and the Charizard Unite from Artrio in response.
Delphox Unite as well, so that damage is going to be cranked up as they're trying to mow down Morning, and they are stomped out. Fui looking down, another one. Unite move takes out Glaceon. And now it's Barnwell that gets sussed out, snuffed out. That's 3 KOs there. Delphox getting credit for 1. 3 go to Fui, and now Nemesis is all over this goal zone. It's going to get absolutely shattered with a good amount of points over the top, as Freak's still holding on to 40 and getting bubbled out by JL.
Oh man, finally we have Bora Reach has evolved into the Gengar, gets these loops of the Sludge Bomb Hex resets, but it's not quite enough. Freak comes in just a little bit too late. Fui will not go down quite yet. Finally, Oblivion closes the gap, finds the KO all the way up to level 12 now, just off that 1.
Yeah, they're level 12, but the rest of the team is lagging way behind, and you have to give credit to Morning here. They're doing a ton of work just being level 8 in the face of this overpowered Nemesis squad. They're finding value on every single sing and all of their attacks as well. JL doing a good job spacing as Artrio's sitting in the middle, just chucking fire all over Tacenda's face, and Gengar trying to engage yet again, but Bora just falls short.
A Sludge Bomb just came a little bit short, and the sleep a little bit too late. Reminder that Hex can reset off of the Wigglytuff sleeps as well, so another special condition that the Gengar can utilize. If Glaceon can get any of the freezes, that would also capitalize, but probably not going to be as likely of a reset partner.
Freak looking to find value. I mean, the Lucario, yes, it's a high level for Tacenda, but it really hasn't found much space to work in the face of this Nemesis squad. As JL just portals everybody down, Artrio is here for the pickup, and they're defending this goal zone yet again. Glaceon comes out. Toon tries to escape. Are they going to? They're not down yet, and we're trying to watch off screen as finally, I think it's Morning that gets credit for that, but Fui, they're caught on the backside as Barnwell comes up, and Fui is just doing so much damage and just chunking them so hard as the Bliss Assistance picked up by Morning. That's going to keep them alive as they're on the retreat. Glaceon gets a KO on Charizard. 2 players down there, but it's still Fui leading the pack with those KOs, and that's Stomp 1, that's Stomp 2, Morning, that's Stomp 3, good night.
Fui is carving them up right now. Absolutely padded. Says they broke a Unite Mics Mayhem record in one of their games for a 16 KO. They are trying to break that record 2 times in one night. Not hard to do on the inaugural event, but a very impressive play from them so far, and I think that's underselling it.
Yeah, underselling it is that indeed, as Nemesis gets that Regieleki for free, and they're sending it down the path. It's going way downtown, and now Tacenda has 2 things to contend with. A Nemesis squad that is very overpowered, and a Regieleki running to their face as we hit the final stretch. Duck it time, baby.
JL hanging out here, shades of Hoopas and Meta's past, waiting to use that very powerful Oops Unbound to bring the entire squad in, but right now they're just trying to back up Fui a little bit, who takes a lot of early damage. Wigglytuff Unite breaks away the Serena Unite move, but in the meantime, JL secured up the Rayquaza.
And not to mention JL's absolutely sick portal that reset Fui and allowed them to get right back into this action and potentially score a hundo banger in. Good D by Freak to keep them from scoring here, but this lead is getting large.
Yeah, absolutely. Bora gets a lot of damage in there, but even more scores happen for Nemesis. They are running away with this game right now. Fui's throwing in a hundo burger of their own. If you got the emote, throw it in chat. Fui with the BM in the wind portal. Impressive play from there. Are Shiryu retreating? They know the name of the game is defense now.
Yeah, and that shouldn't be too tough here. They're almost over that 500-point threshold, and this isn't like Zapdos. Everything is the hard way now with Rayquaza. You just get a little bit of a cheat code in terms of shields, and yeah, 86 went in, but that is still shades behind what they need. As Fui is literally almost no longer moving their character, question mark, dance off, dance party.
That is true. I will do the dance party. JL also with a little bit of BM. Are Shiryu trying to get in the full 50 as well? Oblivion trying to shut them down, but a Shiryu Unite move all the way in your home spawn definitely doesn't feel good. These last 30 seconds really showcasing how big of a score disparity we have right now. Nemesis with a dominant game number 3. I believe that is technically our first reverse sweep of Unite Mics Mayhem as well.
It absolutely is, and it looks like Nemesis just needed the first game to wake up, and then after that, it was off to the races, and they never looked back. They were far ahead, foot on the gas pedal, never relented, and take themselves the Unite Mics Mayhem Week 1 win.
Yes, an incredible win it was as well. I don't think anyone had any doubts in their mind who the team on the day was that deserved to win. Huge scoreline there, 767 to 342. Fui does not break the record of knockouts, only getting 16 this time, matching their previous record. So, Unite Mics Mayhem record to beat is still 16 knockouts in one game.
16 knockouts by Fui. Let's check out the damage real quick. That's the next number I want to look at. It looks like Oblivion for Tacenda still stands at the highest damage output at 104,000, and that was in the first game we saw tonight.
Yeah, impressive games from all of our teams, honestly, so a thank you to everybody who participated in tonight's games. Exclamation mark teams will show you who was playing tonight, but we had, of course, TOS, Radiance, Nemesis, and Tacenda, and Nemesis are your week 1 winners. Of course, they're going to get that $100 cash for their team. They're also going to be invited back next week if they can make it, and then the final stipulation is they are going to decide what format we are playing. Is it going to be draft again? Are we going to try out a different format entirely? Who knows? But congratulations to your victors of Nemesis.